What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I am here today in Nashville. We're throwing it back with Marc Lobliner here, CEO of basically everything.
No. I'm still alive. I know a lot of you guys might not see me. I've been going through a little shadow ban issue, but it's okay.
Just been buried deep in the YouTube world?
Deep in the YouTube world.
We've both gone deep, but it's all good because we like to go deep.
I'm all about that. That's what I'm saying.
It's been a minute since Marc and I have gotten together, and I wanted to do this video because I've kind of talked about it here and there, the possibility of me competing again sometime soon. You actually talked me into going, well, I've been natural, but going into the natural.
So I decided to stop taking drugs.
I decided to get off my drugs and go natty.
I decided to take all her drugs. Are you gonna use that? Like, don't waste it.
Shared it with him, but it's working out better for you than it was for me.
She was on man drugs. It was really weird. I'm like, why are you on Trenbolone?
I got a hint of a wiener and I was like, I'm done.
So wait, does that mean mine will grow? Is this how it works?
I don't, if it didn't grow yet, man, it's not happening for you. WNBF Bikini Pro, I last competed in 2017, so I've been out for a minute. But I still feel like I can't say I don't want to compete again because I feel like I have a little unfinished business, but you became an IFBB Pro this year, and you had stopped competing for a while too.
Yeah, I had unfinished business as well.
Yeah.
You have a pro card, like you've already done it.
I think now I'm in a place in my life, like I'm older, I don't care what other people are doing, I'm just gonna focus on me, and if I was gonna compete, beating the last package I brought to the stage. That's where for me, I feel like I have unfinished business because I don't feel like as a pro, I brought my best package. That's what lingers with me wanting to compete still, wanting to compete again. But then I have such a good balance with food, and I'm gonna be honest, I really quite like my body with where it's at and like all the balance I've established that I get nervous to rock that boat. So like, how did you decide to be like, I'm gonna go hard for my pro card and get back into this?
Lucky for me, I had no idea who was competing because it would have screwed me over.
Right, like
the
it's
guy,
mentals.
The guy who came in second, Paul, is a super heavyweight who's hard as nails. I saw his pictures after the show. Actually, I saw him after prejudging. I'm like, this is after seeing him backstage. I'm screwed.
You got in your head.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it caused me to, I literally thought I was gonna be second. For me, unfinished business, I get it. I came back because my wife said I couldn't box anymore and I need something competitive. And now opening up a youth performance facility, I can compete through my athletes. And at that time I was coaching high school wrestling. So I was still getting that, but I was like, I need to do something. And for me, I ended my career as a NABA pro, and NABA's dead. Like there's no NABA anymore, basically.
I don't really hear it talked about.
No, the dogs are just loving this.
The dogs love this topic.
So he's like, I would like to talk about.
I'd like to compete about this bone.
So I was like, do you think I could do it? So I literally prepped in, I think it was 8 days. And I actually won the Knox Classic. And at that point, I'm like, if I just train hard and get ready for this, I think I can get a pro card. So I placed third at North Americans, and then I went to...
Which is really good. North Americans, they say, is like the toughest national show you can turn pro at.
And I regret doing it. There were hundreds of people. I think in bodybuilding alone, there was like 1,000 competitors. It was insane. And so...
Why do you regret it?
Because it wasn't fun. There was too many people, and it was like a cattle call. And luckily for me, I was in first call outs. I got the experience. But you got to realize when you go to a national show, you're paying for the Airbnb was a couple grand.
Oh, it's expensive to do nationals.
So the average cost to get there, and I've deduced this over the years, about $3,000 to $5,000 to get to the show. You spend about 4 days in advance so your water gets right. The show itself, if you do not place top 5, the average competitor gets 15 seconds of stage time.
That's accurate, because I didn't place when I did North Americans. I did it twice, and I was literally out there for maybe 15 seconds at best. And I remember I spent a ton of money to be there. So
here's your experience at North Americans if you don't place top 5. You come out in a big group. They split you into, I think there was 5 groups of 10 or something.
Right.
So then they're like, okay, relaxed, quarter turn, done. If you don't place in the top 6, that's it.
That's it, yeah.
You get to do quarter turns. You don't even get to pose. So for me, I don't regret it. If I would have lost, I can't say I'd say the same thing. The reason it's hard for me to convince myself to compete again is in my wildest dreams, in any stage of my life, I never imagined looking as good as I did. And still to this day, I look at those pictures, I'm like, okay, who photoshopped these?
Right, how'd I do that? Yeah.
So I literally reached what I feel is the pinnacle at 41 with what I could get to.
Yeah.
Whereas I understand, and also as you get older, like we're not 20 anymore.
Right.
You're younger than me, right? But like you have that, I can still do what I did. You know, I'm not.
I feel like that, yeah.
Yeah, I can still do it.
And I feel like I could do it better. I'm not sure if I don't know if I could.
For me, I did.
Yeah.
For me, I did, and you can because you know more, and even though your body might be doing
I feel like I'm more confident now. You know, like I feel like when I started competing, I was 29, I think. Like I was heading to 30 anyways, like when competing was a big thing. So for me, I feel like I didn't have the confidence in myself yet that you really need to be a competitor, at least in bikini. As you know, judging bikini, it takes the stage presence. You have to feel confident. You have to, you know, display the confidence like no one else is on stage with you. And I feel like I didn't really have that till towards the end when I turned pro. And then when I competed as a pro, I think I only prepped for like 8 to 10 weeks. And that was coming off of really a hard time. Like when I turned pro, I struggled hard after turning pro. Like I gained weight, I had like bad body dysmorphia, like the whole thing was just not good. And so when I went pro and then competed as a pro, I wasn't in my best place to kind of get in shape to compete with pros. So I feel like I've never really given myself the opportunity to really show my best physique, not to mention it's been, 5 years that I'm not a cardio bunny like I used to be. I lift heavy-ish, for me, consistently, you know, and I eat really good and have such a good balance. I feel like, man, I would look the best if I just, you know, work towards it. And I'd love to see what that physique looks like, but I'm also like, man, I don't want to like be hungry all the time. I like having a sex drive. Like, that's been pretty cool, man, the past 5 years, like having a sex drive again.
I'm over the whole sex drive. I'm trying to get rid of my sex drive. Who has time for that?
Like, if you were me, what do you think? Like, what do you think?
So you have a career.
Yes.
Okay, it's a career and you have stuff going on.
Yeah.
The only thing in your favor is you don't have kids. When you have kids, it's very tough to compete because competing is selfish. You're literally, it's about you. You can't do certain things. You're packing food to restaurants if you're serious about it. If you don't, you're going to lose.
Right. Or you're not going at all. Like you completely omit going to social situations depending on where you're at mentally. Like there were preps I could handle it and just watch people do their thing. And then other times I was like, I don't have the energy to watch you eat pizza. I'm going to lay on the couch.
Yeah, I'm at the point now where nothing bothers me. I still to this day don't crave food. I'm just over it. I'm good. Yeah. Like even when I'm not competing, I eat the same stuff all the time. I don't cheat. But that's just because I've conditioned myself. But for most people, you have to look at what it's going to do. Are you in a position where you're advancing in your career, where you're getting better, you're moving up the line? Will that hinder your performance where you might literally glass ceiling yourself? Because I've literally had to fire people. I rarely hire bodybuilders, and when I do, when they prep, it's like you usually have to fire them.
I can see that. And I'm actually quite the opposite. Well, I have a couple different like jobs, if you will, but like in my hospital position, I'm a manager, so I supervise people, and when I'm dieting, I'm the best fucking manager because I am so black and white. There's no emotions in me because I don't have the energy to like care if I offend someone. So I'm just like, you do your job or I write you up. Like I am just, like to me, that's a good boss. Like
I'm more emotional.
To be debated, but.
I get more quiet. I'm more emotional. People deal with stress differently. For me, I get a little more quiet. I'm usually very loud, so I get a little more quiet and I become extremely emotional. It's not hormonal. It's just like weird. Like I was prepping when my daughter kicked the game-winning 26 double overtime district championship. 20 seconds left. Cammie kicks, perfect shot, wins the game. Every dog piles her, and I still to this day can't look at that video without crying. That's
really sweet though.
But I noticed that
I cried either way.
But what was exacerbated is the amount I cried. There are times I could be snippy. This prep though,
for sure. That's gonna happen.
I think being older, you're able to internalize your discomfort. I never had problems. A lot of people are the opposite. And you just have to, if you're able to, before people get involved in competing, I always tell them to look at where their life is.
Yes.
Is your relationship stable?
Relationships matter.
Does your wife or your husband or your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is, do they understand what you're doing? Is it worth doing that job? Will it affect your performance? Because cognitively speaking, a lot of people get spacey.
Yes.
So if that's going to affect you and you're up for a promotion at your job, that's a horrible situation. Did you just start a company? Do you have a newborn and you won't be able to sleep 8 hours a night and get your sleep is so critical to prepping for a show. So I think people get into it and they're like, I'm gonna do a show. And if you don't have those other areas ready for 16 weeks.
Yeah, it's gotta be stable.
It's gotta be stable. And if it's not, people have to have the understanding that you're doing things. And then you gotta realize, okay, I'm doing all this, but for what? Like, you're not getting paid.
No.
If you're a pro, you have a contract, but you don't have to pay them, but the chance of you winning anything is pretty low. The overall picture, is it worth competing? Now, as someone who's actually competed and obtained an IFBB Pro card, which is the pinnacle, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. For me, it was worth it, even though it didn't, let's say, advance my career like something else could have that I did. But winning is everything in life. I'm big on winning. I coach my kids to win. Winning, when you win things, it puts your mind and your body in that momentum that you keep winning. So winning shows, winning pro cards, winning whatever, it's still winning. So you want to win as much as possible in life. That's what'll win that contract for you at work. That's what'll win that job for you. So it's a mindset.
Competing's changed my life in a positive way. Like, I feel like there's a lot of negatives we can say about the competition world, and even social media paints it like it's 100% unhealthy. And I'm not saying it's a healthy sport by any means, but there's a lot of positives to gain from competing. And for me, as someone who was insecure, like growing up a lot of my life, competing is the one thing that gave me this confidence. It really helped me lean into the person that I know Jason saw, or my friends and family saw in me that I didn't believe in. Like, even if I didn't win in a show, it showed me that I could work hard towards a goal and achieve it. And you can't get that with everything in life.
Well, and let's be honest, like, once you're done playing competitive sports in high school or college, like, what are you gonna do? Play weekend softball? Like, at the end of the day, if you wanna compete in something and you're athletic and you have the genetics to bodybuild or do bikini or physique or whatever, it gives you an outlet to compete, an outlet to drive for. And you don't get that. I need that in my life. Now, again, as a coach, I don't feel the need for that anymore, the drive, because I can live vicariously through my kids. You live through all the kids you're coaching and helping to win and be better. And yeah, I mean, again, like, there's no better feeling than seeing your child win a state championship. And I've experienced that. And winning my pro card was dope. Whatever. Not even close. Not even close. Not even close. It's not even in the same, like, realm. The key to life is to win. Winning in life is everything. Anybody who tells you anything else is a fucking liar. Winning is everything. Whether you're trying to become the biggest YouTube channel, whether you're trying to build this, you have to win every day or else you will go out of business. I think winning's perspective, if you will, I don't know if you agree with me on this, but with competing, like, for me, if I was to compete again, I feel like personally I would have to just focus on me and, you know, as lame as it is, but just beating what I've previously brought to stage, because you can't, there's so many variables with bikini and bodybuilding in general, but, like, I don't know who's gonna show up, I don't know who knows who, and genetically I have what I have at this stage in my life. Like, I can try to really make it the best package possible, but doesn't mean I'm gonna necessarily win, i.e. get first place on stage. It's a mindset thing, because going to the gym to better yourself, that's awesome. That's winning, right? My mindset, I still have my, 12th grade football mindset. That guy's across from me, I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna knock his head off. So I wake up every morning and I know who my competitors are in every business I own. And I think of ways that I could put them out of business every single day. That's how I live. So what drives me is winning. And it's what I love. It's what drives me. Whereas a lot of people, like, think about the people who get to stage, they have the excess skin, but they lost like 500 pounds. You okay, bro? So that is winning.
So it's different
overcoming,
for everyone.
accomplishing something, that's winning.
Right.
But I can't go into a show training for 5th place, training for 2nd place, training for top 5.
Right.
I go into the show even if I know I don't have a chance. I'm training like this is first place.
I agree with that for sure. I would have to be of that mindset as well.
But knowing that if you lose, to smile and not be a dick and take away somebody else's win.
Absolutely.
There were politics in certain regions because of just bad chairmen of that region. The if you compete in the NPC, and I speak as an IFBB Pro, I represent the NPC. I'm biased and also I'm contractually obligated to not talk about anybody else. But when you're a pro, you represent who you represent. I'm an IFBB Pro. So there is no, from what I can see, not even prove, but can I see at all, there is no bias. Okay.
For NPC?
No.
Could I go in for an NPC show and have no bias, do you think?
I think absolutely.
I mean, I'm on no drugs, but...
Well, I mean, it's your body.
I've thought about that too, like if I was to compete again. Would I throw my hat in for NPC and go Masters? Like, how would I fare out, do you think? If
you're lean, you have a great shot.
Yeah.
So here's how the NPC works in Tennessee. So Alan Sizemore is a great chairman. Bino Wallace puts on the Knox.
Bino.
And we have Kelly he's the head judge of the state. None of the judges are from here. They're all they don't know who you are. These are older individuals usually and people who've competed. They don't follow you on Instagram. All they see are muscles, ass, and tits.
So then they're focusing on.
Now I'm talking about dudes too. They see your chest, your butt. They look at your glutes.
You have
They look at your pectorals, your quads.
Whole package.
Hopefully, they didn't look at mine. I would have lost. So they look at everything.
Yeah.
But they don't see your face. I mean, obviously they see your face. They don't give a shit who you are. They don't care what your following is. Now, obviously, when you're at the Olympia level, I can't speak for that because maybe Regan Grimes, because he has 8 million followers, gets a better look. But even then, he's getting a better look. If Regan comes looking like shit, they know that if they give him a placing, everybody's gonna be like, hey, you gave that to him because he's so... Bodybuilding, in my opinion, and physique and bikini and all that, of all objective sports, counting figure skating and ballet and pageantry, whatever it is, bodybuilding is, and I will get so much hate for this, I don't care, it's the fairest sport there is. I've met these judges. I 100% agree with that. I've met these judges.
I feel like it's the easiest to judge too, coming from just judging OCB shows. I've done quite a bit. Bodybuilding has always been where consistently across the board with the panel of judges, we're all the closest for who should win. It's bikini that everyone's all over the place because either what I want to see is different from what this guy wants to see. This guy wants to bang her, so he's scoring differently. That still happens today. Bikini is still all over the frickin' place.
They have criteria though, so they
do. That's
so Tyler Mannion. A lot of these guys might not know this. Tyler Mannion is Jam Mannion's son, and he's kind of taken over a lot of the things. So so Tyler got all the judges together, and they actually have judging criteria. So they judge for certain things.
So you make me think NPC would be a more
I'm going to say the NPC is the NPC IFBB is the greatest organization on earth that I've ever competed. And I say that in real. I'm not lying. I was so impressed when I came back. So impressed with what they brought to the table. The NPC and the IFBB, with Tyler in charge, have taken so many strides. And I was saying this for brownie points. I'll probably never step on stage again. I don't care. Yeah. I'll tell you straight up. I've said it before when it was crooked, and I'll say it right now.
You told me before to switch to natural when it was crooked. And
it's not. It's really, I say this like swearing on my kids' lives. Like these dudes are, from what I can tell.
Yeah.
Okay? And I got second place at the state show that I prepped for like 2 days because I was like, I'll just do it, whatever. And then I went to the Knox and I won it. And there were some local people who were upset that I won it.
Okay.
What they don't understand, if you look at the scorecard, that I won everybody except for the one local guy. So if it was crooked, I don't know these judges. They don't know who the hell I am.
Right.
I'm looking out at them. I don't recognize these dudes.
Right.
All they're looking at is a dude in tights next to another dude in tights, and I happen to be more conditioned. So usually there's only one happy person at a bodybuilding show, and that's the overall winner.
Of course, yeah.
Everybody else is
they
like,
were done wrong.
I got screwed.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's this big conspiracy. Or maybe the judges just didn't see, maybe you didn't bring a package that they wanted to see. It's still going to be somewhat subjective.
It is, yeah. That's going to be there.
But I do think if you come back, I mean, a regional NPC show.
I feel like girls usually, you don't have to be drugged up to win.
You shouldn't have to be drugged up to win
NPC
Bikini.
show.
You shouldn't have to do drugs to win Bikini. You just shouldn't. I've met a lot of girls who have.
At the pro level, I'm going to put it out there. I think they all are.
Come on, but any sport though, football, badminton even, I bet you they're all juiced. If you're a pro athlete, you're going to do what you can to be a great pro.
I mean, a lot of them are earning a living off it. They're winning shows. You're making good money, show to show.
And they've gotten smarter where the coaches are able to give them drugs and they still sound like women and you couldn't tell.
Yeah.
It's just enough. So
in the wellness division too, I think that coming into play has helped shift the look of Bikini, where they now have shifted back to not wanting to overly hard.
Bikini with the booty.
Yeah, but before it was like these girls that were winning Bikini, throw them in a figure suit, they could win figure two. That's how jacked and hard and vascular they were.
If you're going to compete, just make sure that you're emotionally and mentally prepared.
I think that's the biggest thing.
For winning and for losing.
Yeah.
And know that the hardest part of competing isn't getting ready for the show, it's getting
out of it
normal after the show.
And that was, I feel like I wouldn't say I never struggled during a prep, but it was the aftermath that was always a bit challenging for me, which in a way annoys me though, because I also feel like I want to be able to master that in a way. So that irritates me a bit too. But I am in a position in my life, I feel like you said, I don't have kids. I'm in a relationship where Jason's super supportive of my goals, where he will help me sometimes actually.
And he has his own stuff going on.
He does, yeah.
Like a lot of guys will suffer because they have an overbearing girlfriend or vice versa. We're like, you're not spending enough time with me.
Oh no, we're both pretty
Jason
independent
be like,
and supportive.
I got plenty of shit to do. Go
do your thing.
Yeah, go do your thing.
Yeah, he's always been good with that. So I'm like, I've always had a good relationship with Jay to be able to do that. But I've seen other relationships where they're like, oh, I can never compete again because my husband's going to divorce me. Or
my wife and I just don't see each other. I mean, we work.
That's how it would be. It would throw more on his plate because I would have to be working out more and that would have to come first over.
Do you think you'd have to work out more? I always find that I have to cut down volume because I can't recover.
I have to do more cardio.
Okay.
So I don't do a lot of cardio now. Like I'll hit up like a couple sessions a week of like 30 minutes to get the leanness I would need to for my lower body. I'd have to be
like an hour.
Yeah, and I like to separate it from weightlifting because that's helped me maintain my muscle.
And also it sucks. Like I'm done training. I'm hungry.
I'm out. Yeah,
I'm ready to go home. I don't want any part of this.
Exactly. So I like splitting it up. So it would take away a bit more since I do work during the day, but it's doable. I still have that little bit of an itch there, but yet I've got that part of me that hasn't said I need to do this.
And you can get better than the last show.
Yeah.
Like no matter how old you are, you can. It's just a matter of how much you're willing to grind. For Bikini, it's about, honestly, it's almost a diet competition at this point.
Yeah.
And that's gonna suck because you're already a petite person.
Right.
So you gotta dig down deep to really bring it in.
I guess we'll see what happens. I think we talked about a lot of pros and cons. I appreciate you sharing your own personal experience, especially you have that family dynamic that I don't have to speak to. So
if I didn't have a family, I'd be competing.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. If I didn't have kids running around, if I wasn't doing all I'm doing, I mean, why not? Why not? But when you have all that stuff going around, you only have so much mind share.
Right.
And something's got to give because it's still a responsibility and a stressor.
Yeah.
So if you have that looming that you have to be ready on this date, you wake up every day, that's just another
that's what you're
thing.
grinding towards, yeah?
Yep.
I agree. So I think that's good advice for you guys to think about too. If anyone's here watching this video because you're thinking about competing, take into consideration all the pros and cons that we discussed here today. Am I gonna compete again? I still don't know. Never say never, so stay tuned. Hit that like button and let me know down in the comments below if I should compete again. I'll see you in the next one.